Before we get to the taste test, I wanted to show how these did out in the garden. I thinned these plants to 2 each in this cage, and if I had it to do over again, I would just have 1 of each. It took them till the middle of June before they did very much growing at all, but from that point on, they grew very well. By the end of June, they were starting to sprawl outside the cage, and I had to pay more attention to training them to climb. By the middle of July, they were starting to set quite a few melons. This is a look at one of the Sakata sweet melons. By the end of July, they were starting to cover the cage pretty well, but they were also starting to sprawl out on the ground, so I let them take up some of the space between the rows. Of the 2 melons, the Chrysanthemum Melon set on a lot more melons than the Sakata sweet melon. This is a look at some of them up in the cage, and there were also quite a few on the ground. I picked all of these chrysanthemum melons on a single day. The melons turn white as they begin to ripen, and the green lines also begin to fade. But when they're overripe, they get a few brown spots on the side, so watch for those. Now let's go to the taste tests. I'm going to taste both of these today. These 2 are the Chrysanthemum Melon, and this one is the Sakata Sweet Melon. I'm not 100% sure if this is fully ripe, but I left it on the vine quite a while, and the rains we got recently, I think, were what caused the top of this one to start splitting. But I'm pretty sure these are pretty fully ripe. The larger one has a little bit of green left on those seams, so I'm going to cut into the smaller one since it looks a little riper. So I'm going to do the Chrysanthemum Melon first, then we'll get the Sakata Sweet Melon next. I'll just cut it down the middle here, take a look inside. Got that creamy white flesh. I'm going to just smell this to see if it smells good. Yeah, it does smell good. A little bit different than a cantaloupe. I'm going to not eat the rind, but I'm going to just take a bite out of this. Trying to describe what something tastes like is very difficult for me, but if I had to compare it to something else, it kind of reminds me just a tiny bit of eating a pear. Got a little bit of sweetness. Very mild flavor, but I like it. Get rid of that seed. Yeah, that's good. I think what I'd do, if I wasn't doing this taste test, I'd just scoop out the seeds and use a spoon to scoop out the flesh of this and eat it that way. And I didn't chill this one, but I like to chill my melons before I eat them. But I really like it. It's not overly sweet. I'd say it's mildly sweet with a kind of a mild flavor that just gave me just a hint of a reminder of eating a pear. Now let's cut into this Sakata sweet melon. I'll cut into it the same way. It's got some pretty thick walls. I like that. I'm going to just cut off a little piece here. And excuse me. I'll taste this and see what we think. This is a little bit sweeter. It's also, excuse me, also very mild. I have about probably half a dozen of each types out in the garden. I'm going to experiment and leave the next one a little bit longer to see if that makes a difference. If it does, I'll try to update at the end of this video if I get that done before I get this edited, or at the very least I'll update in the description if there's any difference that makes. But I like this just the way it is. And I think I would like it even more if it was chilled. Yeah, that's good. For me, if I had to compare the two as far as preference, I think I like this a little bit better than the Chrysanthemum Melon, just because it is just a little bit sweeter. But overall, they're both very vigorous vines, and we grew ours in a cage and it quickly tried to escape and did so. It's kind of all over the ground beside the cage. They're very easy to grow, and you can grow them on a trellis, so that's handy for a lot of folks. But it's definitely one that's, I think, is worth giving a try to, as well as the Chrysanthemum Melon. They're both very small melons and easy to grow, so those are two handy features. If you've ever grown the Sakata sweet melon or the Chrysanthemum melon, please leave a comment and let us know what you think about them. And if you've grown them both, let us know which one you prefer. If you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We'll see you next time.